Now, the House of Representatives Committee on Basic Education Examination Bodies has called for an independent investigation into the human errors that marred this year's Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. At a press conference in Abuja, Committee Chairman Ofoji Oboku described the disruption as unprecedented and unacceptable, insisting that institutional lapses must be addressed. Oboku disclosed that the committee is working with the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board on sweeping reforms, including deploying independent monitors across all 6 geopolitical zones to ensure transparency in future examinations.
This human error were avoidable because it was out of negligence by JAMB. The committee also appreciates the eagerness, the determination of Nigerian students in pursuing their education to improve the future of our country. JAMB has consistently made effort throughout the examination process, from registration to the release of results. Unfortunately, error which can arise unexpectedly occur this time. I would like to state unequivocally that the members of the National Assembly share this concern and extend their apologies to Nigerian public. We also call for an independent and thorough investigation into this matter.
Well then, for more on the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination debacle, let's bring in Professor Charles Nwekeaku. He is a professor of New Public Management at the Nasarawa State University, KEFI. He's also the secretary of the Igbo Elders Consultative Forum. Professor Nwekeaku, thanks for joining us on Daybreak.
Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity.
That's right. Now the House of Representatives is calling for a probe into the debacle that is now the talk of the nation, when so many candidates, particularly from the southeastern part of the country, were said to have failed. But then I understand also that your organization is calling for the resignation of the JAMB registrar, Professor Ishak Oloyede. Is that absolutely necessary?
Well, let me start by recognizing the fact that the registrar of JAMB publicly admitted the error is commendable. It's a scarce commodity in Nigeria for a public officer to come out publicly and admit the error. That is commendable. But the haste in mounting another examination within 48 hours, it's not commendable. Is it because examination, although it said that it's not true test of knowledge, but somehow it reflects the knowledge of people. These were children who took exams some months ago. Suddenly, the error was discovered. And when the error was discovered, JAMB didn't make it public. JAMB didn't make it public. JAMB went ahead to publish the results, to the extent that the Minister of Education was quoted as saying that the mass failure was as a result of mechanism put in place by JAMB to arrest malpractices. Indirectly, is suggesting that candidates from Southeast are fond of exam malpractices. That is indirectly, because that is what you see, but that is not the case. And when you are talking of over 380 candidates from Southeast and Lagos, that Lagos, you also find out over 60% of them will also be from Southeast. Now, their fate is hanging, the balance. And you know, this area is crying of marginalization. During the admission, JAMB will invoke Section 14, subsection 3 of the 1999 Constitution, which talks about federal character, that whatever government and this agency do should reflect the federal character of the country. And by that implication, many candidates from Southeast are cut off. So they depend on their personal efforts in high scores. You see a situation where A candidate from Southeast could score 260, 270. He's denied admission. But somebody from another place, 100, will get admission. Now, by this mass failure, a number of them have been adversely affected. You didn't do proper consultation. You didn't give time to do this thing. You mounted another examination waiting for 30 hours. That is not good enough.
Well, Professor, talking about this rescheduled exam, yes. There are reports that the results will be released today.
Yes.
And we also understand that some of these students are having this, the time
GCE.
clashing with their WAEC
and
with their Nwekeaku. What are some of your suggestions for JAMB beyond the head of JAMB coming out to admit publicly, even though I think JAMB was actually pressured to do that, because you had people from schools saying, look, we prepared our students so well, we took past questions with them. Parents came out and said, look, the probability of my child failing is not that much because we prepared adequately for this exam. So what are some of your suggestions for JAMB to rectify this issue?
I will advise JAMB to hold on. It is not advisable to release this result because it was done in a hurry. At the time students were engaged with other examinations. Two, some students, most of them were not even prepared psychologically for that rescheduled exam. A number of them were doing other things, and some of them were yet to recover from the feeling of failure and so forth. So the timing was wrong. JAMB should not release that result because it will not reflect the test of knowledge. People will still be adversely affected. JAMB should have consulted more. JAMB should have waited. JAMB should have given enough time. Even if he wants to do a rescheduled exam, he should have given enough time for people to prepare for it, for schools to prepare, for candidates to prepare, psychologically, emotionally, and otherwise. So giving that exam immediately is not the person, and they rushing to release the result again. JAMB will be committing double tragedy.
Yes.
And that is not advisable.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, Professor, allow me to ask, please, since most of the affected centers were in the Southeast and Lagos area, could this reflect deeper issues of regional imbalances in the management of such examinations?
Of course, that's why people of Southeast have been crying of marginalization, exclusion from governance in the first place. All these decisions about JAMB, releasing result, rescheduling exam, how many people from Southeast were involved? I wouldn't remember any. So we talk of marginalization all around. And remember, it's this admission that JAMB will invoke Section 14. When it comes to appointment, Southeast has only 5 ministers. Why not West has 10? Southeast has only 5. So federal character wasn't applied. You come to other things, federal character wasn't applied. You come for certain of project, you don't see that in the Southeast. The only thing you see, police and military checkpoints every 500 meters. The checkpoints you have in one state in Southeast, Enugu for example, is more than the whole checkpoints you have in Northwest. We are being treated as conquered people, and we said that we are one Nigeria. And when the youths clamor, include us in governance, you said that they are agitating for separation and so forth. What is wrong about that? If Southeast people are not needed in Nigeria, then let government allow them to go. We know that Igbos want Nigeria. We want Nigeria. But we want a Nigeria where we are treated as equal. We want a Nigeria where we are given equal opportunity like others. We want a Nigeria where our children have prospect of becoming somebody tomorrow. We want a Nigeria that is working, a Nigeria that is available for every person, not a Nigeria of discrimination, not a Nigeria of seclusion, not a Nigeria of, anything bad is attributed to Southeast.
All right, Professor, let's just move forward from that. I wanted to just ask you to give a sort of hopeful message to students that are passing through this? I know earlier you made a mistake saying it was 380 students. Actually affected
I said over 380,000.
You said 380.
Over
I just wanted to clear that up.
380,000.
380,000 students,
Yes.
mostly from Lagos, from the southeast, also across Nigeria. I just wanted you to give a hopeful message to students, especially there are also reports that there are some students that because of the rushed rescheduling were not even able to retake this exam.
Yes.
What are some messages that you have for these students
Well, I
at
want
this
to
point?
encourage them to be patient, to show understanding that at the end of the tunnel, there will be light. At least many organizations have taken over this issue. You see that our House of Representatives. I also know that the Southeast representatives have also done something, and many organizations. And the Igbo Elders Consultative Forum, or Haneze, we are calling that JAMB should rescind the planned release of the result and make sure that adequate measures are taken in order to carry all the candidates along. And for those candidates, I want to appeal for patience. They should exercise patience. I believe that eventually good measures will be taken that will protect their interest, that will give them hope, that will enable them get admission. And I am suggesting that JAMB should look for other means of compensating these candidates.
Would you also want JAMB to lower the cutoff marks for the Southeast?
It doesn't have to do with lower the cutoff. The thing is that the exam JAMB conducted does not reflect the true test of knowledge. So the issue of lowering doesn't arise. But the JAMB should find out other measures to compensate these candidates. So if the exams were wrongly administered, so the issue of lowering then does not arise. It's not lowering. But JAMB should find out strategic measures to accommodate the interests of these youths because they are Nigerians.
All right, thank you so much, Professor Charles Nwekeaku. Professor Charles Nwekeaku. Thank you so much for joining us on Daybreak this early morning to share your thoughts on the issues Nigerian students are facing. Thank you so much.